Welcome, fellow graduates, family members, and friends. My name is Warren Elmer, and I'm the Student Body Vice President. It is an honor to be standing here before you all, and I would like to personally congratulate all of my classmates sitting here at the 139th Midland High Commencement Ceremony. I want to welcome and thank the Midland School Board of Education for coming out tonight. Trustees Mrs. Pam Singer and Mrs. Lynn Baker, Secretary Mrs. Yvonne Gorton, and Treasurer Mr. John Kaminsky. Another thank you goes out to Associate Superintendent Mrs. Linda Klein and Superintendent Mr. Michael Sherrill. I know we have enjoyed all the hard work you've put in and all the snow days you've given us. Lastly, I would like to thank our principal, Mrs. Greif, assistant principals, Ms. Hutchinson, Mrs. Pritchett, and Mr. Scurfield, and our commencement speaker, Mr. Edelbrock, for joining us on this special day. On behalf of the class of 2014, I would like to thank Mr. Mark Camilleri and Mrs. Angela Kerr for being great class advisors. I will always remember spending countless hours building floats and decorating hallways and having a blast doing so. Reflecting back 13 years ago when we entered kindergarten in 2000, none of us had all of our teeth, and Remember the Titans was the hottest new movie. Back then, this day seemed so far away. Looking back on it now, however, we realize that the years have flown by. Take a moment to think about everything that has happened to you in the past 13 years. Every person, event, or minor change that has shaped you into the person you are today. We've all grown tremendously, and I couldn't be happier with who we have become. My favorite thing about our class is that we have always shown chemic pride. Whether it was embarrassing Dow High in the football field or rallying to support Mrs. Cisco, we stuck together and acted with tremendous class. This is a time to reflect, but it is also a time to prepare for the next step in our lives. Take a look at the people around you. This is the last time we will all be in the same room together. From here, we will all choose different paths. This is the turning point in our lives. I wish each and every one of you the best of luck as you travel down your path. Thank you all for the memories. I will never forget them.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caroline Mulvaney, and I am proud to introduce Melinda Kothbauer as a commencement speaker for the class of 2012. I have been friends with Melinda since 6th grade, when we both had all the songs from High School Musical memorized. Since then, Melinda has been in several high school musicals of her own, as she has been in drama club her entire high school career. Over the years, Melinda has grown as a leader and is now a positive role model that we can all look up to. She puts forth every task with excellence and won't settle for less than her best. Melinda has been class president for the past 3 years and is this year's student council president. Her leadership in this area has formed a stronger bond between all of the students and has helped shape the sense of community at Midland High. Melinda is also a National Honor Society and volunteers outside of school as well. For the past 5 years, she has dedicated her summers to volunteering as a counselor for day camps at the Chippewa Nature Center. Melinda is very active in programming and will be attending the University of Michigan for computer science and chemical engineering. Her dedication and enthusiasm for everything she does has most definitely made a lasting mark on Midland High School in the many areas that she's involved in. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Melinda Kothbauer to the podium.
Thank you for that kind welcome, Caroline. I want to just talk a little bit about success. It's an alluring word. I'm sure that everyone here wants to go on to be successful after graduating Midland High. But what does success really mean? Society tells us that being successful means having the right job, living in the right house, and having the right paycheck. Does that have to be success for everyone, though? Everyone here is unique. That's what makes Midland High so special. So why can't everyone have a unique definition of success? I have seen so many people here succeed at a huge variety of different things during these past 4 years. Midland High has given us great opportunities, but it is all of you that have made this journey great, and it would not have been the same if our successes were not unique. Each and every one of us has succeeded in our own way, which is what keeps the tradition of chemic pride alive. So I say we should take a look back at this journey and redefine what success really means. Freshman year. It seems like an eternity ago, but try to remember your very first day here at Midland High. Walking in, for the very first time seemed terrifying. I remember thinking that every single person was staring at me and judging everything I did. I think that we can all fall into that trap. After the first few days, though, I began to realize that no one was watching me, and that was really not the case. And in reality, that if I had been less focused on what other people were thinking, the day definitely would not have been so nerve-wracking. Freshman year had a lot of first experiences that led many of us to those realizations just like that. And whether you had him as a teacher or just knew him as our class advisor, Mr. Camilleri certainly helped us through that transition. I'm pretty sure that the very first time I met him, he offered me squirrel jerky. I suppose that was his way of teaching me to try new things. Despite his mystery meats, he was the one, along with Miss Kerr, who got us through our very first float building and hall decorating in the fall. This was a time when so many different talents came together to create amazing things. We had artists, woodworkers, delegators, and those who rallied our morale, working together to create an awesome end product. Even though we had no idea what we were doing, we pulled together and tried our best. Every freshman who helped had to step out of his or her comfort zone and do something new. That was just one of the many things during our freshman year that helped us all find out what we were truly passionate about. Sophomore year. After a year of basic class requirements with little room for electives, sophomore year held the promise of more freedom. We started taking classes that we really enjoyed, like advanced art, welding, computer programming, Meister singers, and web design. All these classes went well beyond the core curriculum and allowed us to explore our passions. So many different people were now able to shine at a huge variety of different skills. Things that I had never even considered popped up on my radar, and seeing students succeeding in such vastly different areas gave me a new perspective of what it really means to be successful. I started to realize that there are lots of things I would really not enjoy doing, but I am so grateful that other people do. After attempting, and keyword attempting, to make a short econ video during sophomore year, I can never see myself making films ever again. But I'm so glad that there are people out there that enjoy doing that. This was the beginning of discovering our talents and passions during sophomore year. Junior year. That phrase triggers an unpleasant memory in most of our brains. For some of us, those 3 letters, ACT, bring back haunting memories of sleepless nights spent poring over study books, flashcards, and anything else that we thought could raise our score. For others, the thought of the ACT simply brings back memories of a standardized test that could really only evaluate one specific set of skills, being able to take a test. Although it did not allow everyone to show their talents, it brought all the juniors together. The common experience brought us all closer and helped many of us realize that although the test was important, our ACT test score did not define us. At the time, it felt as though that one number would determine the rest of our life. But as we moved further past the test, it helped us all come to the conclusion that instead of letting others, like the ACT test makers, decide whether or not we were good at math or reading or science, that we ourselves choose the moments and events that define us by doing things that we are good at and that we are passionate about. A famous Dr. Seuss quote applies here. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Be who you are and say what you feel. How many times have we heard something similar to that in our life? A better question may be that how many times have we heard that and ignored it because we were too concerned about what others may think? The important people in life won't care what you got on your ACT. They'll be happy as long as you're happy and doing something that you love. This year of high school helped us learn this difficult lesson. Senior year, a year of lasts, and some surprising firsts. Undoubtedly, we had gone through a lot of lasts this year. Our last homecoming, our last Dow games, exams, spring break, our last day of high school. These experiences have been the culmination of our high school career. But along with those lasts came some very interesting firsts. Some of us went out for entirely new sports that we had never played before. Some of us joined a new club and found an entirely new passion or talent to pursue. Senior year definitely allowed us to get rid of some of inhibitions and try something new. These firsts have been just as powerful as our lasts. The new experiences allowed us to find out more about ourselves and maybe even discover a new talent that we never knew we had. The skills we've learned through the many opportunities we've had to find our passion will follow us well beyond high school. Typically, a commencement speaker is supposed to talk about how to be successful in the world, what you should and shouldn't do to become great. But I think that the only true measure of success is if you're doing something that is meaningful to you. I encourage you to keep the words of Tiger Woods in mind. No matter how good you get, you can always get better, and that's the exciting part. So find what you love and do it, and do the very best that you can, and keep improving. In the end, no one can definitively tell me or you what success really means. Success is such a complex idea that society is trying to simplify into something it's just not. Don't let the idea of what others deem successful to trap you into being unhappy. Winston Churchill once said, "To each there comes in their life a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing, unique to them and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour." If you are willing to defy the traditional definition of success and do what you're passionate about, you will not be unprepared nor unqualified for that moment when life hands you your perfect opportunity. With that in mind, I challenge each and every one of you to redefine what success means to you. Don't waste your time living someone else's life, but rather find your own success. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Resmer, and it is my honor today to introduce to you Gabe Klatz, whom I have gotten to know over the last 4 years here at Midland High. In his years here, Gabe has been a part of many different activities. He has been an active member of the debate team. He has participated in different bands, including the concert band, symphonic band, and marching band. He has been a part of the forensics club and drama club. In this past year, he served as a committee chairman for the National Honor Society. Two of his biggest accomplishments occurred during his participation in Boys State, where he was elected to be the 2013 Michigan State Governor, and also in his involvement in youth and government, where he was one of 25 students selected from 1,600 delegates to attend a national conference. At this national conference, Gabe received the Kona Statesman Award, which recognized his superior debate skills and his demonstration of core values such as honesty, care, respect, and responsibility. Gabe has also been a very active member within the community. He volunteers for different events and local organizations such as the Midland Historical Society, and he has also acted in various roles for the community theater since he was in 6th grade. Next year, Gabe plans to attend Kalamazoo College, where he will study philosophy and political science as a pre-law track student. Please join me in welcoming Gabriel John Klatz.
Wow, hearing Emily put it like that makes me feel like you've got the wrong guy. Well, let's just get right down to the reason why I'm up here. Today, I just want to share with you a couple ideas that I've realized over my short 18 years in this world. Admittedly, it's not a lot, but I'm very happy to have the time to share those ideas with you. It's interesting how incredible everything was when we were little. A blanket became a cape, a fort in the woods became our own castle, and a sandbox could become an entire world. But as time went on, we started to lose that sense of amazement. The blankets wore down, the forts crumbled, and the sandbox was replaced by stacks and stacks of homework. You know, usually this is for the best. While the idealist in me believes that this is somehow crushing our children's sense of joy, realistically, it just makes sense. The world that we live in doesn't need as many sandboxes as it does bridges. So obviously, mechanical engineering takes priority over such things. But the question then becomes, what do we lose? When we trade our sandboxes for study, what do we leave behind? The answer to that question that I'm proposing is wonder. The realization of how fantastic the world around us really is, and the fundamental understanding that we made that world that way. As a tone setter for the remainder of the speech, here's a quote from comedian Joe Rogan. Very few people actually look up at the night and go, wow, that literally is infinity. We are floating in infinity. It's easier to see infinity than it is to see the ground. I know it sounds like an overstatement, But the same childlike wonder that we found in the sandbox can be found in anything that we do. For example, driving to school or work, it's a pain. But when you really stop and think about what driving is, you're piloting a vehicle made up of parts from across the globe, from a metal, from some sort of stuff that was dug up from the ground and refined and then melted and formed into these things and put together in the exact right way, and it burns the compacted remains of ancient ferns to get you where you need to go. It seems a lot more wondrous. And when we stop to consider that it's people that have made these things possible, that crafted those pieces, transformed the ferns to fuel, it's not just wondrous, but it shows us that any of these things can happen, and we can make them happen. And this leads me to the reason why I'm up here in a gown and a square hat instead of sitting down there in a gown and a square hat. As we get ready to graduate, I want to share 2 pieces of advice about life with all of you. Stay amazed at the world that we live in, and work to make that world even more amazing. Now, an 18-year-old from Midland, Michigan isn't the only one who thinks this is a good idea. Sophocles wrote that wonder is the beginning of wisdom. It's easy to make up a graduation speech about, the easy things, the things you've always been told. The old trifecta: work hard, show up, and be happy. You've had these tenets pounded into your head for years, so let's just not go there. Instead, let's look at how to do those things. As with a lot of things in life, there isn't one big answer here. Cure-alls belong on late-night TV, not reality. The best way to achieve those 3 cliche goals that I've found is to stay in a state of perpetual wonder. I mean, look around you, right? We all made it. We're actually the MHS class of 2014, and we're graduating. Through IB testing, YOLO actually being cool, and convincing ourselves and our peers that we really know what we're doing, every one of us here today has finished our high school careers, and if that isn't amazing, I don't know what is. Now we can take this amazement and put it to use. First of all, work hard. Understanding that we got here, not because of somebody else, but because of our own sweat. We got here. We understand that when we work hard, results come out. Taking that sense of amazement at our own accomplishment and applying it to the first of the cliche goals. Second of all, show up. When you understand that you're incredible, when you understand that you have potential, when you understand that you can change the world, showing up will follow naturally. And of course, the third one that everyone's always telling us, the ever-elusive be happy. Being happy with yourself, with what you can do, with your own potential, is far better than anyone pointing at you and saying, well, go buy a new flat screen. But enough about doing this for ourselves. Appreciating the world is helpful in its own right, but its application can change the world that we're appreciating. And everybody keeps telling us that we're the generation who can change the world, so why not actually do it? But before we tackle the entire world, here's a fun fact. In 1800, a candle providing 1 hour's light cost 6 hours of work. In the 1880s, the same light from a kerosene lamp took 15 minutes work to pay for. 1950, 8 seconds. Today, it is half a second. In these terms, we are 43,200 times better off than 1800. Now, this just didn't happen naturally. We're the people that did it. Generations just like us who graduated high school, went through the school system, came out, and made us 43,200 times better off than they were in 1800. That's some sort of progress. And this lets us understand that the world we live in isn't just, a thing. It exists because people made it that way. The school system we're in, the state that runs it, the country that runs that, they're all just definitions that we put upon the world by people like us. Illuminating the world around us doesn't have to stop with our parents. And with our help, it won't. We can make the world better than it already is. I mean, our generation has tools at our fingertips that no one else has been equipped with. Twitter, YouTube, Google, crowdfunding, ridiculously fast internet. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, if people change electronic lighting, imagine what sort of potential we have. So to wrap things up, we live in an amazing world. And that world's only going to grow, and we're the people who are going to shape its growth. Now, as is often the case, someone who shaped their own world has words that address this far better than I could. To quote William Butler Yeats, "The world is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our senses to get sharper." Now, we've already understood that the world around us is magical. The potential in ourselves and in our peers and what we can make, that's the magic. And the sooner that we sharpen our senses to achieve Socrates' sense of wonder, the sooner we can make our world into what future generations can wonder, hopefully, just as much as we did. Thank you all for an incredible 4 years, and I wish you more than the best.
Kylie Winslow, and I have the honor of introducing tonight's keynote speaker, Mr. Brian Edelbrock. Mr. Edelbrock graduated from Michigan State University with a Bachelor of Science and Master's in Education. Mr. Edelbrock has 2 children, a son in 8th grade and a daughter in 12th who attends school in Essexville. In his 19 years at Midland High, he has taught nearly every science class offered and currently teaches .2 chemistry and .4 biology. His diverse teaching career has allowed him to get to know many of the students in the class of 2014, myself included. His positive attitude and unique sense of humor ensure that every day in his class is interesting while also being very educational. He is strongly committed to helping students succeed, especially in this, his first year of teaching .4 biology. He put in countless hours outside of the classroom, developing rather creative ways to ensure his students understood the material. As I'm sure others would agree, he definitely shows all of us what it means to be a chemic. So, without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to tonight's keynote speaker, Mr. Brian Edelbrock.
Thank you, Callie. When students found out I was going to do this speech tonight, a few of them asked me they had a couple special requests, and I thought maybe if I granted a few of those requests, at least somebody would say, hey, that was a great speech you gave tonight. Eric Meir was the first one. He wanted me to say hi and thank you to the Ping Pong Club. Congratulations to all the Peace Club members, or Peace members, especially Jay Smoove. Ping pong is a great analogy for how to be successful in all aspects of life. If you practice, you will improve. And no matter how good you get at ping pong, there's always room for improvement. Another student, Elizabeth Silverstein, she heard me give a short speech at the awards assembly. And I just read right from the script. And she said, Mr. Edelbrock, you seem really put together. She thought that was a compliment. What it really meant is when I teach her every day, I don't seem put together at all. Sam Mangus was the exact opposite. She said, I don't like when you sound put together. Sam, I don't think I'll sound very put together tonight. At my daughter's graduation ceremony, the principal started his speech by explaining to everyone in the audience how he looked up on the internet, he searched how to give a good graduation speech. The first site he came to was, practice your speech in the shower. I said, nope, I'm not going to the internet for any help with this speech. Anyway, I'm sure one of the things on any list would probably be, get some good sleep the night before. That didn't happen last night, thanks to the Spurs and the Heat. And we're talking about quotes, right? I thought maybe if this speech goes really bad, I could pull a quote from LeBron James. Oh, I got a cramp. Cramp. So I wasn't going to use the internet. I came up with my own 4 rules for giving a good graduation speech. That's my title. 4 rules for giving a good graduation speech. Now, Jess Walter would change that to #RatchetGradSpeechRules. That was a request. She wanted me to say those words. So rule 1, have a theme and don't take a lot of time. My theme, I pledge to be short. You're a very unique and wonderful class. One seemingly small thing that I will always remember you by is that you stand every day for the Pledge of Allegiance. You're the first high school class to do that. You stand, give the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, a flag that's in every classroom of every public school now. It's a flag that sometimes we take for granted. We take it for granted sometimes. I'm going to explain how I have done that myself. There are some people who don't stand, and we're okay with that. That's part of what the Pledge of Allegiance tells us. It ends with liberty and justice for all. It's freedom. You will not say the Pledge of Allegiance every day now, but please pledge to continue to love our country and all that it stands for. A pledge does not have to be made out loud. It can be built within our own character. When it comes down to it, Midland High does not care about your grades anymore. All they care about is that will you try your hardest at whatever comes your way? So pledge to do that. Try as hard as you can. We lost an amazing teacher this year in Mrs. Cisco. Mrs. Cisco and her family asked us to pledge not to mourn her death, but to celebrate her life. In 19 years, I have never seen Midland High School student and staff come together as much as Mrs. Cisco brought us together. It was a sea of pink. Somehow our amazing administrators even managed to get the sky over Midland High to be a beautiful pink that morning. Can you turn the setbacks that you will all face at some time in your life into a positive? Pledge to do that. Rule 2. Remind you of a few things that have happened since you've entered school. Gabe kind of hinted at this when you're young and all the fun things that kind of aren't fun anymore or you lose track of them. Do something that I did with my daughter. Go through with your old toy closet. Go through some toys. You'll be amazed at how happy it makes you feel. Some of those toys that we came across in the toy closet, things that you may have had, were the Game Boy, the Nintendo DS. Maybe you even had the little Guitar Hero thing that went on the Nintendo DS. The smart kids had leap pads. My kids had a Pixter. The thing that upset my daughter the most, we could not find it. We looked all through the house for it. I'm going to go to eBay and get her one of these for Christmas. Did any of you have the little radio? It was called the Hit Clips. And you had little tapes or little cassettes you'd put in there, and it'd play about 20 seconds of a popular song. You remember that? 20 seconds, and it cost about $3. Now you have full songs and albums in a device about half that size. In elementary school, you watched a young Hannah Montana on Disney TV. And now you see a much more mature Miley Cyrus on the news. You went through your high school musical phase and your Glee phase. Austin Ear is still in his high school musical phase. You've gone from Toy Story to Frozen. And Trapani, that was not an invitation to start singing the Frozen theme song. For your graduation parties, you most likely went through old pictures. I want you to think about those pictures. The first 3 years, up to maybe the first 8 years of all the pictures taken of you were taken on a really old-fashioned camera. You know, we had to drop the film off at the store, usually get it a couple days later. And we kind of lost that. A lot of the pictures are saved somewhere, but we don't have the pictures. You'll see a lot of pictures of the younger you. Digital cameras changed that. You take a picture and you would just come running around to see if you look good or not. So you'll see a lot of bad pictures of you with your eyes closed when you're really young. Now your phone is your camera, your music device, your directions to a friend's house, etc. And hey, I'm going to do this right now. This is my first selfie I've ever taken. Warren Elmer, I heard you're really good at these. That'll be my last one, too. Unfortunately, everything that happened since you've been in school has not been happy. About a week after most of you entered kindergarten, 9/11 occurred and changed our world. Could we turn such a terrible thing into a positive? I remember going to the store that week to buy a flag. I couldn't find one. They were sold out of American flags. I was like many Americans. I'm not proud of it. I was so busy trying to just get through life. With a busy job, 2 young kids, I took life in the United States for granted. The Pledge of Allegiance reminds us not to do that. Members of the military were appreciated more, and we can all thank anyone here who is a current or former member of the services. We have students here that we're so proud of that are going to join the service. Thank you for all you've done for us. Make a pledge not to take life in the United States for granted. The next is family. The people who are here in this hot gym, came here tonight. Some of them are family, some of them are friends, and even the ones that couldn't make it. They're very proud of you. That's why they're here, to see you just walk through this stage. They're proud of you. Some way, they're responsible for you being where you are. Make a pledge to not take them for granted. Rule 3, tell a joke at a really smart student's expense. Okay, Callie Winslow is very smart. I had her 2 hours every day, and tonight's the last chance I have to actually teach her something. She's going to be a brain surgeon or something to do with the brain. It's too technical for me to understand. So this relates. In our biology class, we had 3 brain surgeons come in, and they brought human brains. The anatomy students, the AP biology students got to see these human brains. What Callie and the other students who saw these didn't know that those were actually brains of past Midland High chemic graduates. Did you know that? Okay, you learned something. There's a reason for that. It's strictly financial, and we're Dow High Charger, past graduates of Dow High, the brains are actually 5 times more expensive. Do you know why that is? Do you know that? Clots. Do you know why? Midland High chemic graduate brains are used. Right? Class, did you know that? Okay, I didn't make that joke up. I stole it, but I didn't steal it from the internet. I promised not to do that. I got that joke where all of us old people get our jokes, Reader's Digest. Rule 4. This is the last rule. Tie the theme back into everything you just said. I know that joke wasn't very funny. I'm sorry, it was very funny. It wasn't very nice. But 19 years ago, I made a pledge that I believe all of you have made to always be a chemic. Thank you, class of 2014. Good luck in all you do. Pledge to try your hardest at whatever you do. Pledge to appreciate your country and those who fought to give you your freedoms. Pledge to make the best of even the worst setbacks. Pledge to appreciate your family and friends. And pledge to always be a chemic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luke Lambert, and it's been an honor for me to be a member of this year's commencement committee. Although I'm even more honored to introduce our principal, Mrs. Janet Greif. Mrs. Greif has been in education for 19 years and has worked in elementary schools, middle schools, and now at Midland High. When our class came in as freshmen, it was Mrs. Greif's first year as Midland High's principal, so we were the first class she's had for all 4 years. As I'm sure my class will agree, Mrs. Greif has made those years extraordinary, and she will always hold a special place in our hearts. As we leave MHS, we will always remember her personal Friday message, that it's always the right time to do the right thing. As is tradition at Midland High, we'll be giving her a class gift. This year, our class gift are Legos, because Mrs. Greif has helped lay the building blocks that will help us succeed in the future. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to our principal, Mrs. Janet Greif.
Thank you, Lou, for that kind introduction. Welcome, Superintendent Charo, members of the school board, parents, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2014. Every year as I pick a theme for my graduation speech, I reflect on the graduating class and determine what makes them memorable. The answer came quickly for the class of 2014, because as mentioned, you see 4 years ago, on September 7th, we all entered this building called Midland High together. You as your first year as a high school student, and for me, my first assignment as a high school principal. Like all of you, I had mixed emotions of excitement and anxiety anticipating the upcoming events of the school year. But there was something else happening that first day. Something special that we were not all aware of. That's the day we all became members of an exclusive brother and sisterhood, a society that would forever unite us. That's the day we all became chemics. Chemics. I heard someone say once, there's no such thing. That's not even a real word. Well, I can tell you that can't be further from the truth. It just tells the world that we are unique and not just an ordinary school. I decided to see how unique we were, and I did a national search of high school and college mascots. Using the mascots in our Saginaw Valley League, this is what I discovered. Number of teams that are named Warriors, 915. Number of teams named Wolves, 221. Hawks, 353. Trojans, 80. There are 52 Lumberjacks, 81 Oilers, and the Chargers, well, there's 200 of them. But chemics, just one. Yep, I think that's worth an applause. Chemics, C-H-E-M-I-C-S. Let's break that down letter by letter, starting with C. C is for competitive, and the chemics were competitive. We consistently have state qualifiers in golf, swimming, cross country, and track. There are 93 seniors who are sitting in front of us that are all academic athletes. We've received art awards in both the regional and state levels. Our band, orchestras, and choirs consistently receive #1 ratings at festivals. We won the Junior Achievement Titan Regional Competition, and at the SVSU competition, math competition, we earned first place for level 1. Our boys soccer team was the league champs. The Chemic football team won the district championship and had its 37th winning season. We set new school records in track and basketball this year. Our girls track team won the Saginaw Valley League for the 2nd year in a row. Girls basketball won the Saginaw Valley League for the 3rd time in 5 years, and the district title for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. Next letter is H. It stands for honor. Each year we have a number of young men and women who elect to serve our country in the military. This year we are proud to be adding 5 more to that list. I'd like those young men and women to stand, please, so we can give you some applause that are going into the military. Obviously there's 8, so I got the wrong facts. And actually, I'd like to invite any veteran that's in the audience tonight to please stand so we can appreciate your service. Anybody who is a veteran, please stand in the audience. That's terrific. E comes next, and it stands for education. We have 330 graduates sitting before us, and 226, which is 68% for the math people. An even greater statistic is that this class has earned up to date over $5 million in scholarships. Yeah, that is worth an applause. M stands for motivated, and chemics are motivated to serve others. They are community-minded, whether we're speaking locally or internationally. This group raised $2,500 for Kids Against Hunger. Our Kiva Club distributed $2,000 worth of microloans across the world this year. Chemics participated in the crop walk, pennies for turkeys, food drives. Pretty interesting, our Key Club received top honors, both in money and the most volunteer hours during the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. We adopt chemic families at Christmas. This year we initiated a caring closet where any chemic in need can access clothing and hygiene items. We support Toys for Tots, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Lunchbox Learners. Really, the list goes on and on. I. It's the next letter, and it stands for innovation. And boy, did this class excel with being innovative. Our Michigan Youth and Government delegation took 4 out of 18 awards at the state level. 6 of our DECA students went to regionals and 3 to nationals. 27 BPA members went to regionals and 14 went on to the national competition, where all of them placed in the top 15% in the country. And you can applaud for that because that's quite impressive. Our programming group attended the Code Michigan Conference where they were honored when their legislative app won the title of Most Civic-Minded and Crowd Favorite. We took second place at the programming competition at Miami University and at the American Computer Science League All-Star Contest in Denver. We took second place, being beat only by 1 point from a team from Romania. At the Regional Mites competition, we won 10 first place awards, and at the state, we took 3. We had first place winners at both the regional and state Skills USA competition. At the CMU Brain Bee competition, we took first place for the 2nd year in a row. And our school newspaper, The Focus, won 35 individual awards and the prestigious Spartan Award for the 22nd time. C is for compassion. Chemics care for each other, and never was that more evident than the love and support they gave to our beloved teacher, Mrs. Cisco, during her 3-year battle with cancer. All of you showed your enormous heart and chemic pride with the numerous pink outs at sporting events, hat days, American Cancer Society fundraisers. You did cards, posters, notes. You sold t-shirts, necklaces, candy and bracelets. This year, the class gift to the school is a beautiful plaque in Mrs. Cisco's honor, which the family wanted me to express their gratitude for. The last letter of chemics is S, and it stands for spirit. This class has been the most spirited for sure. The chemic spirit is unparalleled to anything I've ever seen. Our students support each other in everything, whether it's art, student council, band, model UN, lacrosse, forensics, debate, drama, robotics, or our radio club that communicates around the world. We celebrate everyone's interests and success. In sports, whether we win or whether we lose, we're like a family. The chemic spirit remains loyal and true. So, I ask you, is chemics a real word? You bet it is. It's a word that was forged by everyone who walked these halls before all of us. Speaking of those who came before us, I'd like to invite the chemic alumni who are with us tonight to please stand. Chemic alumni, where are you? Let's see how much of a tradition we have. I want the chemic alumni to know that after this evening, you're going to have 330 new members. So, the class of 2014, our journey together is coming to a close. It has been great watching you succeed and turn into young adults. The staff here at Midland High agrees that it's been our privilege to spend the last 4 years with all of you. Take with you our wishes for a life filled with passion, service, appreciation, adventure, success, love, health, and happiness. And remember, wherever your path in life takes you, know that all of us will be here cheering you on with the same spirit that you've shown all of us. And actually, for me personally, I really love this class, and they'll always have a special place in my heart. And mostly, I can't wait for the world to meet you. Congratulations.
I'm Colin Walters, and I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Pam Singer, who is a trustee on the Midland Public Schools Board of Education. She has a passion for youth, which underscores her work as a research associate at the Legacy Center for Community Success. Pam has a bachelor's degree in information systems from Fair State University and previously was employed at the Dow Chemical Company. She is actively involved in her community and has 4 children who have all attended Midland Public Schools. Please join me as I welcome Mrs. Pam Singer as she officially accepts the class of 2014.
Thank you, Colin. And thank you, Mrs. Greif, for your extraordinary leadership. It's an honor to be here tonight and celebrating the graduation of the class of 2014. Students, your success is earned. It's earned from your hard work and your perseverance in fulfilling all the graduation requirements. On behalf of the Midland Public Schools Board of Education, it is my honor and privilege to accept this class, the 139th graduating class of Midland High, class of 2014. As the graduates' names are called and they process across the stage, we'd ask everyone to be respectful and hold your applause to the end. Thank you.
Joseph Andrew Adams. Lauren Hope Adams. Alexis Mackenzie Aid. Michael James Alexander. Brianne Nicole Altman. Kelsey Joe Anderson. Taylor Anna Anderson. Turner Michael Anderson. Dylan Matthew Andrick. Constantine Alex Anganis. Aaron Nathaniel Angel. Dominic Matthew Angelotti. Micaiah Rianne Arguello. Keaton Ray Arnold. Logan Patrick Arnold. Chaz Edward Babin. Alexander Michael Bailey. Julia Louise Baker. Robert Justin Beal. Jasmine Emmanuel Bechtel. Kayla Nicole Beebe. Elizabeth Breeze Bele Loftus. Bradley John Scott Belson. Alexandra Camille Biedenbach. Kyle Stanford Blackwood. Madison Olivia Bonham. Levi Oakley Box. Courtney Michelle Brandmere. Kylie Katarina Brandt. Joseph William Breen. Amanda Elizabeth Brenneman. Brian Daniel Brzezinski. Taylor May Brooks. Aaron Stephen Brooks Sharp. Hannah Johnstone Brubaker. Lauren Shea Bukoweski. Chantel Marie Burton. Carolyn Ann Bussino. Justin Edward Butler. Jenna Lynn Carpenter. Tyler Justin Case. Drake Allen Surgeonal. Jordan J.S.W. Clements. Christopher Allen Klein. Jacob Earl DeBlee Cobb. Jordan Lee Cochran. Samantha Nicole Cochran. John Luke Coffey. Autumn Nicole Coldwell.
Brianna Noelle Collins. Colin Earl Colson. Stephen Albert Conklin. Jacob Douglas Cook. James Daniel Copus. Taylor Renee Corner. Dakota Robert Costley. Andrew David Colson. Charlotte Christina Nemia Damocles. Noah David Danielson. Reagan Christine Tanner. Andrew Brett Richard Davis. Michael Tristan Davis. Lindsay Sue DeFrancisco. Austin Joseph DeLucia. Tanner William Diamond. Richard John Doctage. Jacob Joseph Dostal. Spencer Lee Dostal. Christine Michelle Dowdy. Melanie Louise Draves. John Russell Dooley. Larry Gerald DeRocher. William Stewart Earl II. Joseph Matthew Ecker. Benjamin Thomas Elliott. Warren Charles Elmer. Kelsey Marie Hervé. Braylon Lee Evans. Lucas Robert Eubank. Cody Aaron Iyer. Timothy Lee Fick. Nathan John Fisher. Daniel Robert Flory. Richard Lyle Vosgett III. Becca Lee Fowler. Tyler Dean Freed. Tanisha Mariah Frick. Courtney Alicia Rolliker. Alexander Ryan Gall. Alejandra Ann Garcia. Lindsay Elizabeth Garl. Melissa Raylyn Garland. Bailey Curtis Canetti. Madison Elise Gary. Jennifer Ann Gillings. Scott Ginther. Cohen Joseph Matthew Gabeski.
Daniel Joseph Granda. Aaron Micah Green. Quentin Reed Griner. Spencer Mitchell Grennan. Bradley Deshaun Bell Grimm. Tanner John Gross. Bailey Marie Gogorsic. George David Gillen. Lily Susan Hami. Morgan Michelle Hansen. Allie Marie Harner. Madison Ann Hayes. April Helen Heater. J. Richard Hendricks. Jonathan Thomas Henschel. Samantha Ann Hoff. Connor James Hogue. Grace Lucille Hausil. Chrislyn Jean Ann Hutchinson. Tracy Gail Imhoff. Tasha Jasmine Iriarte. Austin John Ear. Alyssa Ann Ivan. Jessica Jo Jardno. Nimra Jawade. Tyler Brianna Jewell. Leaf Andrew Joffrey. Darian Kathleen Jones. Seth Charles Jones. Theodore James Joint. Haley Marie Kazmarek. Cassandra Jane Carius. Whitney Ann Keenan. Caitlin June Keitel. Lauren Elizabeth Kelsey. Tanner Laverne Kennedy. Tyler Dean Kenworthy. Taylor Ann Kirkue. Emily Marie Kessler. Kayla Rochelle Kaiser. Monica Raina King. Savannah Lene King. Jacqueline Sharon Kisser.
Gabriel John Klotz. Michael Christopher Klug. Catherine Ann Kohani. Azariah Meshach Koning. Holly Ann Koning. Pamela Jolene Const. Nicolette Amber Conzi. Melinda Jane Kothbauer. Michaela Nicole Cram. Bryce Jacob Kramer. Emma Kruger. Angela Rochelle Keeney. Jared Michael LaChance. Elizabeth Lorna Ladwig. Luke Lee Lambert. Caitlin Amber Lemie. Brianna Elizabeth Larson. Christopher Daniel Lassage. Hannah Mae Lasky. Triu Yang Feng Lei. Trevor Paul LeBlanc. Stuart Greg Lefevre. Kristen Marie Lenny. Madeline May Levinson. Colton Tanner Lewicki. Evan James Lyle. Morgan Ryan Lilly. Anna Eileen Lloyd. Tristan Alberto Loosemore. Alexander Joseph Lorenz. Alexis Larish Ludke. Benjamin William Luzar. Logan Dean McKay. Kylie Lynn Matishek. Mackenzie Lydia Maximu. Madeline Suzanne Mammal. Samantha Ann Mangus. Nolan Ryan Manser. Dimitri Thomas Markey. Hunter William Marsh. Cerise Lynn Martin. Lisa Lee Marie Martin. Rosemary Helen Mason. William Donald McAfee. Jackie Jaquavion McCullum. John Wesley McDonald. Callie Christine McGuire. Matthew Allen McInerney. Catherine Sandra McIntyre.
Connor James McLaren. Jacob Taylor McMahon. Lindsay Marie McWhorter. Nicole Perkins Meeks. Hannah Jo Meineke. David Irwin Mel II. Elizabeth Marie Merrill. Rachel Lynn Mervin. Jordan Elizabeth Meyer. Mercedes Breland Meyer. Sierra Marie Myers. Eric James Meir. Cody Ray Miller. Elliot Winfield Miller. James Thomas Miller. Kevin Arthur Moe. Tyler Allen Moe. Riley Sue Mogenberg. Anthony James Moody. Patrick Edward Morris. Edward Allen Mulford. Caroline Samantha Mulvaney. Selena Angelita Munoz. Devin Thomas Music. Catherine Lee Naffey. Matthew Thomas Nastasi. Megan Elizabeth Nicholas. Jonathan Michael Nierenberg. Grant Patrick Norris. Brandon Tyler Nyland. Donald Raymond O'Brien. Grace Ann O'Connor. Cody Austin Odell. Patrick Richard Osowski. Jared Arthur Owen. Jenna Lynn Owens. Tristan Doan Erzkan. Connor John Palmieri. Rose Zachary Damasio Pantoja. Scout Sunflower Parsh.
Yeah! Woo-hoo! Yeah!
Sydney Anna Parsons. Connor Dalen Patnode. Benjamin Walker Pennock. Kelsey Jennifer Pennock. Julia Lisa Pisantini. Andrew James Porterfield. Zachary Charles Potter. Liam Michael Pretzer.
Mallory Michelle Rajeski. Haley Lynn Rank. Hunter David Randall. Ashton Wilhelm Rapanos. Austin John Rapanos. Madison Marie Rapanos. Samantha K. Rapanos. Caitlin Ashley Ray. Alyssa Jane Reeder. Adam Patrick Regier. Emily Ann Resmer. Madison Amber Ribble. Madison Ann Rice. Emily Kate Riley. Noah James Rodriguez. Vaughn Kenneth Roten. McKenna Elizabeth Rouse. Haley Nicole Rule. Andrew James Russell. Thor Julian Russell. Brandon Robert Retluski. Madison Hazel Sandburn. Noah Benjamin Sanders. Andrew Wayne Schaefer. Abigail Elizabeth Schreiber. Matthew Jacob Schnur. Jordan David Schreier. Ethan Taylor Scott. Cameron Joseph Surgeon. Nicholas Andrew Shaheen. Elizabeth Rose Silverstein. Kaylee Nicole Simmons. Brian Daniel Simons. Rebecca Ann Singer. Jessica Sirius. Nils Eric Skog. Catherine McKay Smith. Madeline Bell Smith. Riley Mary Smith. Shannon Marie Spencer. Kyle Denman Shradava. Joseph Scott Stanley. Remington Leigh Stanley. Jacob Douglas Starr. Zachary Edward Stern. Michael Christopher Strobel.
Caroline Maria Sweers. Travis Michael Sysak. Kayla Marie Shefschuel. Hannah Nicole Simonowski. Daniel James Tanner. Justin Reed Tenbush. Regan Lou Tendler. Tanner Michelle Terwilliger. Adriana Marie Thompson. Michael James Tiffany. Anne Grace Trapani. Jessica Ann Trethaway. Franco Ignacio Velaza. Megan Lee Vanny. Rebecca June Van Beber. Brendan Kyle Varlick. Sabrina Lynn Vernier. Hannah Elaine Marie Mary Venandi. Devin James Dean Waite. Carly Ann Waldy. Amanda Christine Walco. Amanda Jean Walsh. Jessica Rose Walter. Colin Gregory Walters. Taylor Mackenzie Warner. Dakota Richard Warren. Kaylee Elizabeth Wasmer. Alexander Thomas Webb. Joshua David Weigold. Nolan William Welser. Alexander Jacob Welter. Alyssa Marie Westfall. Savannah Joe Wheeler. Catherine Marie Whitcomb. Madeline Sue White. Audrey Margaret Wilkie. Siani Rose Williams. Corey Allen Williams. William Charles Williams. Samuel David Wing. Callie Nicole Winslow. Haley Marie Whitbrow. Nicholas Ian Wright. Jonathan Matthew Young and Joseph Michael Young. Emily Elizabeth Zero. Yvonne Marie Zonblack. Please congratulate the class of 2014. This class certainly has a lot to be proud of, and I'm honored to be here helping to recognize all that our class has accomplished. We could not have been here without many people helping us over these last 12 years. First of all, I would like to give a huge thank you to the commencement committee and most of all Ms. Hutchinson for putting this whole commencement ceremony together. Please give a round of applause for her. Our teachers here at Midland High are inspiring and always willing to help. We really could not have done it without you. So let's thank the teachers. And of course, I would like to thank all the parents, family, and friends in the audience who have stuck with us and supported us through everything. Please give it up for our families. But most of all, I want to thank you, the class of 2014. You are what has made our journeys through high school so special. The memories and friendships we have built will last us a lifetime. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. The turning of the tassel from right to left traditionally represents the shift in our lives as we now move from being high school students to high school graduates. Midland High, class of 2014, would you please rise? This is it. Remember, once a chemic, always a chemic. Please join me in turning your tassel from the right to the left.
kids here.
See ya.
Thank you.